Already 2 days on from an epic night in Riyadh for Alexander Usyk, Tyson Fury. I mean, firstly, what an event from start to finish. So many great fights.
Amazing card, amazing main event. Just great for boxing, you know. Went to the barbers this morning and everyone's talking about it. You know, it felt like sort of the old heavyweight days of AJ and those kind of big fights. And you know, the guys really performed. I wondered what kind of fight it would be. And what we got was a thrilling fight, an intellectual fight, a grueling fight, a fight full of heart, courage, determination, just what you want from a fight of that magnitude. And yeah, congratulations to both men, obviously to Alexander Usyk on just an incredible performance, and Tyson Fury, you know, good performance as well, showing a lot of heart, and you know, the right man won. A lot of sort of discrepancy on people's thoughts about the scorecards. Not really about the winner, just how close it was. And I thought it was quite close. The right man definitely won, but you know, a tremendous fight.
Did you score the fight? I suppose it's hard from ringside to do.
Never really scoring it, but you know, I'm sitting next to George Warren, Spencer Brown, Frank Warren, obviously they're Bob Arum. Now they're all Team Fury, but we also, with all due respect, we know the game. And I felt that Tyson Fury was comfortably ahead after 6 rounds, 4-2 probably. And it was, I can't remember if it was the 7th or 8th when the fight started to turn. He hit Fury with a left hand, I think, done his nose, and then the fight turned completely. Next round was the 9th, which was a disaster for Tyson Fury. And then didn't really give Fury anything else after that. So you're probably scoring the fight 8-4, 7-5 at best for Fury, and with the knockdown. So 2 rounds, 2 to 3 rounds, 2 to 3 points. But you never know, you know, when it's a fight as close as that, there were a lot of rounds. Even the 12th round was a round that you could have given to Tyson Fury. So, you know, I'll probably give it 4-2 to Fury after 6 rounds and give him the 12th, you know, and then everything else to Fury plus to Usyk plus the knockdown gives him 115, 113, whatever it is. So, yeah, but I was quite surprised moving, you know, you sort of stuff with Russ Amber. They believe they won the first 5 or 6 rounds, yeah. Team Usyk. Well, if that's the case, it was a shutout. And for me, it wasn't that kind of fight.
It talks about the 9th, the view from ringside. Did you think the ref was going to jump in?
I mean, I couldn't believe that he didn't go down. He was absolutely gone. I mean, he went literally, there wasn't a centimetre on the ring that he didn't cover in stumbling around. You know, he showed a lot of heart to stay up. It quite surprises me that even fighters don't seem to know that you can receive a counter when you're basically being held up by the ropes. You know, I saw a lot of fighters tweeting saying, he didn't even go down. I didn't know you could have a count from the ropes. You know, there's a difference between a standing 8 count and a count from being held up from the ropes. There is no standing 8 in that fight with this commission. So, you know, the ref was well within his rights. Was he slow in administering the count? Was he slow bringing them back together? Maybe, but at the same time, he's also checking if Tyson Fury's okay to continue. Certainly, the luck of it being the end of the round was huge for Fury, but you also have to give him credit for his recovery, because he came out for the 10th, you know, almost recovered. And Usyk just didn't stop. But Usyk also put a lot into that 9th round as well.
Yeah, you mentioned there about Fury's recovery power. Obviously, you've seen it before with the Deontay Wilder fight. One thing about Tyson Fury, love him or hate him, he is pure box office.
Yeah, and, you know, but he's never been in that situation before. I mean, he was gone. Like, against Wilder, heavy knockdown, but actually got up and his legs were there. You know, against Ngannou, got up. Cunningham got up. He had his legs. He was completely gone. But he was there, and just literally, like, you know, but didn't go down. And you got to respect him. You know, you got to respect his recovery, and you got to respect his heart. And you know, it was a thrilling moment in the fight.
We saw in the post-fight, His Excellency sort of maybe put a little teaser out saying October for the rematch. Do you expect that to happen?
Yeah, I mean, so much could happen. I've seen a lot of people talk about great time for Usyk to retire. It's very kind of them, but also there's a lot of money to be made in a rematch. And was a good performance for him. So he might, be ready for that. He's trained for a long time. We're about to hit June. You'd have to start training in August, end of July. It probably gives him 5 or 6 weeks off. Tyson Fury said that Usyk broke his jaw. I don't think that's true. But it was a high maintenance fight, and Fury's going to want to rest. Don't forget, Fury's come out the Ngannou fight, gone into camp for the first day. That was postponed. He got cut. He stayed in camp. He's trained for a long time. I don't think Tyson Fury is going to be over the moon with 5 or 6 weeks off. But, that's the obligation. There's a lot of money. Who knows, if Usyk's injured, can't make the date, do you make Fury against Joshua with the winner fighting Usyk? The answer for me is yes, please. But it's down to His Excellency and the fighters to make the decisions. They have a contracted rematch, but they have to be physically able to meet that date. And I guess that's the next obstacle to overcome.
You were sat next to AJ ringside for the fight. Who did he have as the winner?
He had Usyk winning quite convincingly. I went over after and said, "What do you think?" And he was like, no, Usyk's won. Great fight, but Usyk comfortable winner. And I think most people felt that Usyk won. It was just how wide they saw the cards.
A couple of bits of news circulating today that the IBF will either strip or Usyk will be forced to vacate the belt, which could potentially free up a fight on June the 1st for Daniel Dubois, Filip Hrgović for the vacant title. Anything you can tell us, sir?
Yeah, the IBF probably, knowing how they work today or tomorrow, will issue the mandatory obligation to Alexander Usyk because, it's quite clear that Hrgović was waiting for that mandatory. This fight was allowed on the basis that the winner would have to fight Filip Hrgović, which everybody knew wasn't going to be the case. So, unless there can be an agreement between everybody, it's very likely that the IBF belt will could free up for June the 1st, and that could be on the line. We'll see. But yeah, in this situation where you have an undisputed champion, mandatory obligations are just by the by, and you saw it with Crawford, you see it all the time. Unless you're willing to fight your mandatories consecutively, it's very difficult to keep hold of all the belts.
Saw Anthony Joshua post a very sort of plain picture of himself watching the fight, no caption, yesterday after the fight. Is that just to let the world know he's watching and he's willing to jump in?
Oh, really? Sometimes people look a little bit deeper into stuff than necessary, but he's ready to fight anybody. He'd love to fight Usyk again. He'd love to fight Tyson Fury. Happy to fight Hrgović. Happy to fight Dubois. Happy to fight Parker. Happy to fight any of Wilder. So you have not got a problem with Anthony Joshua. Like, literally anybody who wants it can get it. But at the same time, he wants to try and regain his World Heavyweight Championship.
Still looking at September, roughly, for maybe...
Yeah, potentially. He's ready to go. He was out training all week. He's going to go back to Riyadh for the 5v5. He's excited for that one, and he'll be training again out there. And, he lives in the gym. So ready to go at any moment.
Elsewhere on the card, Jara Pataya, another 12-round grueling war with Maris Bradis. He made it very clear afterwards he wants to unify next.
Yeah, of course. I think we feel he's the best in the world at cruiserweight, and it was a good fight. It was quite cagey. I felt like he was really in control of the fight, and then 10, 11, 12 was an all-out shootout. Probably something he didn't need to do, but Jai likes to get involved, and he broke his nose from a headbutt, and got buzzed a couple of times. Bradis looked fantastic to closing the fight, and I said to him after, he's quite disappointed with his performance, but you won. You beat probably the second best cruiserweight in the world, and I don't think there's any other cruiserweights that could have stood up to that Bradis bombardment in the final phase of that fight. So good for Jai to, regain his IBF belt, Ring Magazine champion as well, and now time to unify.
Finally, it wasn't to be for Joe Cordina, his first career defeat in the professional game. Is there a rematch clause in place?
No rematch, because the winner has to fight the mandatory, which is Sugar Nunes, our guy, and that's a great fight. For Joe, the difficulty with staying at 130 was how long can you stay there? Now he's suffered that defeat, he'll definitely be moving to 135. And congratulations to Kakachi. You know, it was a very impressive, powerful performance from him. You know, you hate saying it after, but he hit Cordina after the break, and Cordina never really recovered. But Kakachi continuously hurt him. So, you know, although that didn't help, Kakachi still, you know, put in a great performance, and really picked up from that momentum. And, you know, beat Joe up in there. And I think Joe will feel time to move to 135 now.
And we look forward to that Sugar Nunez mandatory fight. Eddie, thanks for your time.